Mhm. All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Racers News Network Live. We have Gary Simons coming on as our guest. We're just waiting for him to show up. I'm gonna message him right now and just gently remind him that he's supposed to be on with us. Let me do that. Unless he decides we're just not worthy. Oh, oh no, that's you. Sorry. Everything's updated, so I'm all confused now. My phone is updated.
Yeah.
My computer is updated, and being a new computer, so
There's
there he
Gary.
is. There he is. Now I don't have to do it. Good.
Here
All
I
right,
am.
what's going on, everybody?
I
As
made it.
we've been talking about over the past 2.5 months, the Dewzen, what turned out to be double 15s, which turned out to be an awesome event. We figured it was time to have the man come on and just kind of wrap it up for 2024 and maybe possibly consider giving us a sneak preview, because we know there's something bouncing around inside his head for 2025. And
If Pete looks like, okay, let's go. I'm ready to make a race. I'm ready to create something here.
well, all right. So before we get into it, then on that note, we have to give Pete major league props for this
No,
past
you
weekend
don't.
on Saturday. Yes.
No, you don't.
Yes.
Bravissimo.
Yes.
Bravo,
Very
bravissimo.
Let me do really good at the race. I paid $8 to get in, but the one that I spent half of my savings. Let's have the car make 12 horsepower and pretty much run in reverse.
Yeah, a race late and a race dollar short, whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's okay. I'll figure it out for next year now.
We got it. I ain't changing a damn thing, Gary. I'm leaving it strapped down right in the same spot and just leaving it right where it is.
I love it.
He's just gonna hope that the tires stay at the same air pressure all winter long.
Yeah. Keep it in a moisture controlled garage. And
yeah, and nobody gets, and Brennan doesn't get in there and screw with his computer.
It's such a weird thing that I'm learning. The learning curve is huge.
Yeah.
But boy, when it comes together, I mean,
it's exciting.
This weekend, the first pass, I literally let my thumb off the button, and I knew within 5 feet of the car taking off that it was a completely different car. And look, it's only 0.3 quicker. I was going 9.0s this weekend. I was going low 70s. Might have been a high 60 on the last pass. I still haven't done the run completion on it yet, but 3 to 4 tenths is like an incredible difference. When you finally stumble across it, it's pretty wild. Definitely fun to drive again, that's for sure.
Yeah, it feels right. It's right. Just roll with it. Yep. Go back to the pit and wipe it off and wait for the next round.
That's it. Put some fuel in it and scratch my head and say, what took you so long,
Amen to that.
No, but all right. So he run it up on Saturday.
I did.
To fellow Nessa competitor, and with that beautiful Dodge Challenger.
Yep.
And so awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you. It was good. I probably, out of the 4 elimination runs, I did the last one was the one I really dropped the ball on. I caught a red light. I caught a Grant Nichols breaking out by a foul. But one of the reasons why he broke out by a foul is because I was right there and he didn't have a ton of room to back into me. So that made it, I made kind of a representable run there. And then the last run, I hit the trans brake button and I was right on the edge of staging and it flickered the bulb, but it just broke my concentration. And that's just from not being in the car a lot and being a little rusty. But I got news for you. If I came up 000, I would have had a tough time getting in on RJ because he put a hell of a package together. So it was great. It was just fun to get in the car and have fun again and not want to light it on fire at the end of a pass. So I can't complain. It was a good weekend. And then my car ran really good for the time trial in the E1 on Sunday. I just fumbled the other end and gave it back by 6 thou. But then I got to sit back and watch my son lose in the 4th round, which was, I got to tell you, I'll never say this in front of him because I don't want to give him a big head, but it's just as much fun watching him be successful as it is me. So it was a great weekend. I can't complain.
Yeah, you were saying the same thing at the Dewzen show too. You're like, hey, I'm not
really. I mean, as much as I was struggling, that first pass that he put together on Saturday, I believe it was, the friggin' kid comes out with a 7-pack or something stupid like that, and I was like, good God, this is just, I want to drive my car into the creek. And he comes up and does something like that, and it just makes all the other stupidity go away,
Yes, it does. It does.
So it's all good. It's all good. Gary, obviously, I struggled like crazy, but didn't make the event any less spectacular in my eyes. It was a great time, just like the year before. Weather was fantastic. Participation was great. The flow of the race was great. I'd like to say great job as always, but you know it already. So
thank you.
Tip of the hat if I was wearing one. You guys did an awesome work.
Thank you. I mean, we start by thanking Dewzen Products, Mark Pettit, for being the sponsor, Rick Lorenz, Lorenz United, Mini Melts, so many different sponsors, McGlaris family, and different people who stepped up to help us.
Yep.
First and foremost, Lebanon Valley for always being there. And, Wayne, I didn't hear from Wayne till Sunday. And I think the first time I heard from him, I think you were standing there. So,
Yep. Something we might have to address for next year, but yeah.
We made quick work of that. So,
yeah.
And I think if you stand there, I mean, okay, we had a great show. Yes. And I thank everybody. I'm always asking Vince, what do you think? What could I do better? He's like, nothing, but I know you're going to try to improve. And
right.
I think there, what we were just talking about is something we just got to tweak just a little, figure out
That's all. Absolutely.
Yeah. And it's just information, getting it correct. But it's not a big deal. It is fixable. It's
right.
always a little bit of a challenge. If everything went smooth, you scratch your head, but
yeah, right.
Wayne and his crew are absolutely top notch. The track is top notch, and everything they do to help what our program is we come in and we set up and we try to present a clear path to racing. And he helps with that. He makes sure that happens. And his staff are always asking us, what can we do? Was everything okay? It's like, just stop, keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, right.
And that Sunday situation, it always comes up. And I think I put it on me a little bit because, I am there at the table all day, and I
sure.
try to give out the correct information so that everybody gets a fair shake at the tree, right, at least on Sunday. And other than that, it was just when he come fly, that was the first time all weekend. I mean, literally, I went up to the tower. He's like, "Hey, Gare," and I'm like, "That's it." Hey, Gare. So, and when he called us up for the high rollers, I mean, Vince is like, "What do you think? What do you think?" And all of a sudden, Vince and Gary did a tower over the speaker, and I go, "Well, I think it's just been made."
We're about to find out what we think. Yeah.
But as a whole, what you look at that is, the program is the program. It's drag racing, okay, and you have these classes, and Wayne runs it. I always say it iron fist with a smile because he knows where he needs to be, when he wants to be at, how many cars at a certain point of day. I do too, and I understand it all. But when you have somebody like that, that's like, you guys do your thing, I'll do mine. I'll see you at the end of the day. And
Right.
when he called us up, he's like, okay, I got this many cars in the lanes. It's this time, blah, blah, blah. And we laugh. And I'm like, what do you want to do? We know what we want to do. And then
Right.
we start collecting names first off, and then making sure that everybody who wants in gets in.
Yeah.
And the fields were pretty much full at every round. He said, we're going to call him up next round. And then Vince said, give me one more round so we can get, like, there was 4 or 5 guys that wanted in. So
Sure.
it didn't hold anything up. And once again, hats off to everybody. I mean, we're grateful. We're so grateful to be able to do it at Lebanon Valley. And the program I want to say it runs itself, but
Right.
the stickers, the way we changed the stickers, the A, B, C, and D was a big factor. So
Yeah.
hats off to everybody. It was a good weekend. It was successful. The car count.
So I got to ask you a question, and it might not even be something that you could answer, more of just kind of putting in the back of your brain.
Great. More from my brain.
And not that what happened with me on Sunday was any kind of drama.
No,
but I've heard the last couple of years that, people talking about it. On Saturday, you guys give everyone a time trial.
Correct.
If you're double entered, they get 2 time trials.
Correct.
Okay. On top of giving everyone at least one, small percentage 2, you pulled off the high rollers race. My question to you would be, with the car count you have, and obviously you look to grow the car count every year, but if the forecast is looking good for Sunday, why not just give everyone a time trial so that you don't have to ever worry about drama like that again? And again, that might be something that you go over with Vince and you talk with Wayne about over the winter, and you come up with an answer. But it's just a curiosity thing. And then it gets rid of the I personally do not think that, even though I wasn't entered in the race for Sunday and I entered, I didn't think that I should be allowed to have a time trial if the announcement was made over the PA that if you've been down the track, you do not get a time trial. The reason why I approached you is because I remember the year before that people were on the property and they purposely didn't double enter until Sunday because they knew that would gain them 1 time trial. So they didn't save the money by double entering all at once. They didn't save the 50 or 75 bucks, whatever it was. But essentially they were paying that extra 50 bucks to get another time trial on Sunday.
Right. Because Sunday it gets crazy over there.
Right. So to me, to eliminate the drama, it would just be a clear cut. If you have been down the track, you do not go down the track for a time trial, or give everyone a time trial if the weather is looking good and the car count is in place to pull that off.
Right. And, it's not something it's definitely something we should be talking about, because, I mean, come on, what's 1 time trial? 1 time trial, I know, other than having any catastrophes, should go an hour and a half,
Right.
It's funny because the gentleman Springer, I forget his name. I had a list and I forgot it.
Yeah.
The one who won Sunday actually single entered and then ran over with a check, and he says, I want to double enter. I didn't like that first time trial. Then he doubles his way all the way to the final.
Right.
So he used his first elimination almost like a time trial.
Sure.
Thinking he was going to buy back.
Right.
But then he won, but he didn't like it. So he's like, you guys don't mind. And no, we don't mind. Of course we don't mind. But to have that time trial could eliminate some of the congestion, the confusion.
Right.
And then again, you're still going to get doubles. It's just the way it is. I mean,
Yeah.
we're over 200 plus when it comes to that weekend. The car count wasn't the normal only because we knew what was going on around us as a whole. But,
Sure.
I mean, the year before we're 230, 240, as
Yep.
far as entries go. So, yes, it is definitely something to consider. I think our approach was almost, I don't want to say a panic approach, but it was an approach of we only got 2 days. We want to get it in.
Sure.
But you're absolutely right when you say, hey, think about it. The night before we were done at 8 o'clock adding 64 cars. So
Right.
what if we just approach it as 8:30 cars in the lanes? Let's go, one-time trial, everybody, and jam them through. I think you're right. I think it's a valid point and something we need to think about and possibly arrange for next year.
Yeah. Yeah.
The way Vince is going right now for next year, we'll see how that goes. There's a lot of things we're discussing for next year. He doesn't baby step into anything, as you see the post I put up.
Yeah.
On the way home, he had already said, he give me a look, and I'm like, what's going on? And he's like, I want to go right for the 250. And I said, can I just get a sandwich and some chips? And can I get past the fact I want to
get a normal heart rate again, and then we could talk.
Yeah, because it was nice because we were done. We had a chance to chat with Wayne, not about racing, just about chatting, before the lights were coming on. And, it was just nice for a change. It is nice for a change to be done and just digress, have a chance to stand in the winner's circle for a few minutes and shake hands and thank everybody as they're thanking us. And it goes hand in hand. We're very grateful for each and every person that comes out and supports us. I tell each one who pays, thank you, and I mean that. I mean that from my heart. So, but that is definitely something. I just think it would help the mental confusion, just, okay, we're doing the time trial Saturday and you're going to do a time trial Sunday, period. Call it a day, unless the weather changes. If the weather changes and things go awry, then you have to make a decision. Right?
You got to adjust on the fly. Absolutely.
And everybody knows that. That's probably happened over the weekend quite a bit. So, that is something I think may help us in a percentage ways as far as people making a decision quicker and then not having to have a person like yourself who comes up and it's just a matter of just change your number. Well, I didn't know that personally. Right. So I am better for that because I was like, as soon as you walked away, I looked at Wayne, I go, that's it? Just change the number?
Yeah, right.
Like, yeah, Butterworth, now let's get back to work. And he smiled and walked away. And I said, I'll take that because to me, everything's a lesson. Everything's let's eliminate a little issue or what could have been.
Sure.
What if it was somebody else and it was like, I want to stay here and argue for 10 minutes? Well,
right.
I personally won't get involved with that, but he came down so hot and heavy the first time all weekend. I was like, Vince goes, I think he's after you, Gary. I said, I'll take it. But it happens, so. But again, a positive. It was a great weekend. It was great seeing everybody. It was great it's always great being a part of it. Sponsors are all on board again next year.
Awesome.
So that's a no-brainer. I mean, I make sure of that before we leave. I looked at Rick. I said, what do you think? He goes, I'm all in. You know that. And I said, okay. And the Mini Melts and anybody who was involved this year will automatically be jumping on board for next year. And we're always looking for more sponsors. And if we're going to do a $250,000 race, we'll probably need a couple more. But I don't think that'll be a big deal. So I'm already working on it. And Vince knows. You just tell me what you need, and I'll go make it happen. So
Awesome.
Even if I got to put my small little business on a sign somewhere, I'll do that. It doesn't matter. It's about, that should be interesting. Chris, do you know what we're talking about?
Oh, yeah.
You do. Oh, 3 10s and a 250. Sure, why not?
Well, that's why as soon as I saw it, the first thing out of my mouth before clicking number 3 was, "We'll be there. We'll be there for the whole thing."
Yeah.
not not a not a 20 or a 50 or 100. No, let's just go right to a $250,000 friggin' dollars. What the hell?
Why don't we do 3 10s or 2 10s? Do a first day, do a Thursday, all high rollers, get them all jacked up, get them in the gate, get them signed up, make me sweat a little bit, and
Yeah.
then 10, 10, and a 50. Sure, let's baby step. Vince goes, I got big feet and I want all it. So I get his point, because there is a following. And if I know Vince, he's already talked to other drivers. Like, would
Sure.
you? And we all know that circle of drivers that just do this all year long. I mean, my God,
Right.
$500,000 race and 250s, and new media does 15s, 20s. Why not set the tone? And I like that. I'm ready for it. I
Sure.
will welcome that. It's, again, Pete, Chris, you know what I always say, but it's got to be affordable, and
Yeah, right.
how is that one going to be affordable? Like he said, we split it up. We make it the race, and then you can
Right.
get into those races. So you do good at this race. Guess what? Now, the man knows exactly what he's doing and why he's doing it. And
Yep.
I get it. I buy in. What do I got to do? Where do I need to be? And how do I need to help make this happen? And
Right.
that I'm once it's in his head, and once he's told me to post it, I said, this is probably what's going to happen. We don't have any dates yet, but we're going to. Now you see a beautiful September and you're like, well, do we move the race to September? Because it was a perfect month. I mean, we're going
So
into a good month.
I will tell you what I know about September. My wife's birthday, as you know, from the Facebook post, is the end of September. It's the 29th. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because all the racers pre-COVID used to get together, and we used to camp at a local campground up here, Hammonasset in Connecticut. And we did the same weekend every year. And every year we would sit outside and be like, this weather is just phenomenal. And it was always like, I hate to even bring this up, but remember how beautiful it was on 9/11?
Yes.
I mean, it seems like September is always an incredible weather month.
It is.
It just, I can't remember having a run of shitty weather weekends in September. It's an incredible weather month.
It's bracket finals week.
Right.
There's a lot of different things going on, but this September was amazing.
I know.
In the drag strip, you can jam everything in, and October is still continuing on to be nice.
Sure.
So that's something. We don't want to commit to August yet. So obviously we have to get with Wayne and discuss his schedule and see what we.
Yeah.
But the one important thing is, what's the guideline going to be for money? I think it's going to be big. You can count on that. But I like his approach. Is 3 10s will be a separate price.
Yeah.
And the big one is the big one. And his circle of drivers goes way out. And tell somebody that it's going to be a part of your racing swing or your path. You're going to go here, and then swing on through,
sure,
Central New York. And
so our theory of having time for a time trial on Sunday might have just went out the window.
Right. Now, you just may have when now you
which is fine.
I mean, I've done the math 100 times, and I'm like, he's not wrong.
Yeah.
It can be done, and Sunday, can you imagine 300, 350 entries?
Right.
Wayne would probably come down from the tower and say, we got to do it different next year. But when he says that, it means there's a next year. So.
It means there's a next year. Absolutely. So what you're saying is I have a chance.
No, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I have a chance. And yelled at me was
Well,
next year. I was like, oh, good. Whatever you say, blah blah blah.
Right, right.
what I was going to say to add to, because you stole my thunder a little bit with the possibility of moving it, was not having the dirt track running plays into your advantage.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
that
Yep.
if on Saturday a couple things go to crap and you have some oil downs or whatever the case may be, you don't have to worry about, oh my God, it's 5:45. We got to be done in like 15 minutes. What the
Right.
hell are we gonna do?
Or
You know,
4:45.
you
You
could
got to be
run
done in
till
15 minutes. Yeah.
yeah,
You
you
know,
could run till
and
10, 12 o'clock at night on after, what is it?
right.
End of August, beginning of September, when the dirt track essentially is done for the year.
And that's the
I-
thing. And you still have postponed time, from one week to another. Because
Sure.
once bracket finals hits and there's a few races, some nostalgia stuff, other than that, you still have a little room to work if something
Right.
doesn't happen.
Right.
I like the September. I like the weather. I like everything about it. Not just the weather being nice, but I just think it's a different temperature. It's a different range of weather that really is a little more comfortable and
Yeah.
enjoyable. The cars are faster, I'm assuming. And not that I know much about this industry, but I know these guys love this stuff. So
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I think the where he's headed, again, with the way being a part of what I'm a part of with Vince, is he doesn't say it if he doesn't believe it can be done. I
Right.
guess that's the best way to say it. If you don't just throw 250, he's already got it mathematically in his head in a way that says we can do it, and I know we can. It's just putting the format together correctly.
Sure.
I said that means we got to change the name, and he's like, no, we're the Trip 10's. There's a brand.
Trip 10's with a kicker.
Yeah, right. Look on the back of the shirt now.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Trip 10's, turn me around.
That's right.
But I always like, I'm always worried to change the name. We got to get new colors. He's like, nah, just
No.
the brand is Trip 10's. It's just,
That's right.
I think the silly, stupid stuff, what kind of potato chips to bring,
Yeah, right.
He's like, we have enough envelopes, and that's the key, is making sure we're packing envelopes. And boy, we got him a money machine this year, and he was the happiest guy I ever met. So he's like, look, Garrett, I'm like, wonderful. There's 17 people outside waiting for their envelopes. Let's pack them. But that's the fun part, is we take it in and we turn it around and bring it all
Bring
back.
it right back out. Just keep it warm for a little while, right?
I love it. I get to know these people. It's such a good time. And like I said, we were just around 200 in entries this year.
Yeah.
The response was great, and just everything. I'm sometimes speechless over it, because everybody says, how'd your race go? I was like, perfect.
Yeah, right.
They're like, well, all the work you put in, Garrett, do you not know? And I was like, I guess, it's just a natural thing, and
Yeah.
you do things because you love it. And if you love it, it's not hard work. I think that's an old phrase, so we put time. Like I said, we're driving home. And we're already kicking around next year, how we're going to do it, what's the approach. And it's a good feeling, because if it's not successful, you're always trying to, how do we improve? It's not improve.
Sure.
How do we just take it to a different level? Because there's nobody doing 250s around here. So
No.
I think the first year would be one of those, I gotta do it.
Yeah, right.
I gotta try it,
Right.
But then you're gonna get a different caliber of driver. They will come. They will.
Oh yeah.
So it'll be nice. I'm working on a live stream, total whole show, because I learned a lot from somebody who works with the Monster Truck series that gave me a number to call and hopefully do something. That way we have a couple. We have Chris, you'll be doing hopefully your thing, and we'll have somebody set up at the beginning and at the end of the track. And everything's already, the wheels are turning, like you say. And It's just trying to keep it presentable as a race,
Sure.
and not, go to such an extreme. We have to do it at a bigger track. I think Lebanon Valley is a perfect situation.
Yeah.
And if it grows there, it should grow there. It grows
Right.
within the drivers. It's the same great people every year. Same great people.
Yeah.
Love it. Hate leaving. It's like, damn, that's it. It's over.
I know. It seems like a lot of work for a little bit of time, and
Yeah.
I'm finally starting to get into the racing groove this year. Of course, it's better late than never. But 2 weeks ago at your race,
Yeah.
this weekend at Dover, which I actually really didn't plan on, but my son wanted to race because he's totally addicted. So I wound up doing some stuff to my car that I thought could make a significant improvement. So I said, well, screw it. Let's go up on Friday night. And one of the best things in the world was getting in the motorhome at 6 o'clock at night and hitting the road and being parked and set up by 8:30. It was, easy ride in traffic, and boom, we were there. Now this coming weekend, I'm working at the Scotty Wheels race. I'm going to bring my car up. Honestly, I don't even know if I'm going to make a pass or not. I know my son's going to race the 1150. My golf cart is in my trailer, and it's in front of the race car. So instead of unloading everything, I'm just going to drive it up there and have the golf cart for the weekend. And again, if I feel like taking a couple of passes, I will. If not, who cares? But it's just my son wants to grudge race me, but we got all kinds of stipulations already set up. It's great. But I mean, it's whenever you go there, it's like you go there, and the next thing you know, you blink and the weekend's over, and it's like shit. It's over, and I'm kind of like still ready to go.
Yeah, especially when things are going good.
Yeah.
Stuff's still intact. You can load it up into the box and strap it down, head home with a smile on your face. And that was with us. Like when we got to Lebanon Valley, and we got there Friday, and I was able to just relax and walk around, and it was nice. The other side of it, kind of being a spectator for a few minutes.
Right. Right.
It is nice. It is nice to chat with people, get to know what's going on. I like gathering information, kind of talking to talk to drivers, and one of them ends up being Division I champion, so how cool is that? He's just there because I'm off today. I'm going to run your 15K because I love you guys and what you do and what we represent. And the following week, he goes out and crushes it. And what a cool thing, and I'm texting him like we're best friends, because that's what this industry represents is, I don't have to be in your neighborhood to tell you, hey, wow, I didn't see that coming. He's like, well, I did one of these days. And one of our guys from ESTA in this area took home the bike championship. So good for him. So, one weekend, you're chasing after a different championship every weekend. It's a different trophy. It's a different prize. And boy, if that's not a prize and a half, the Division I big race off to Vegas, well, congratulations to all those drivers who went out and represented very, very well for their tracks.
Yep.
So, and the industry, because it's just a class act, each and every one of them, really.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's fun. Like, you get your kids, you're proud. Let's get the kids involved. My daughter wants to get back in the seat. I'm like, oh boy, so we'll see. Did that for a little while, and now she's itching again. So maybe I'll win that Camaro off of Brian Hansberry. And
there you go.
Who was this year's best appearing winner?
I don't want to do. We don't have to talk about that, Gary.
Oh boy, maybe your son will win next year.
I'm telling you something right now. If that car wins best appearing before me, I'm never coming to one of your races again. That's where I draw the line.
Okay. I don't even know what kind of car he's got. Thank God. So we're good.
Oh, I actually have, while I'm in front of you, I actually have a funny story for you. While I was racing the Dover race this weekend, On Sunday, a gentleman comes up to me and shakes my hand. Hey, how you doing? I said, doing good. How are you? So we're friends on Facebook. And when he said his name, I knew who he was. So we talked for a little bit, and then he walked away. He came back a couple hours later after I made it pass. He's like, do you mind if I check your car out? I said, no, guys, go right ahead. Look it over. Open the door if you want. I don't care. So he looked it all over. He came up. He goes, I don't know if you know who I am. He said, but I won the best of pairing last year. I said, I know who you are. I said, and I need to be very clear with you. I really wanted to win best of pairing, and I thought I deserved it until I saw your car. I said, your car is absolutely beautiful. I said, and if I was voting, as biased as I am with my own car, I would have voted for your car. And he goes, you know, it's funny. I feel the same way about yours. I really thought that you were going to win. He goes, they gave it to me. He goes, honestly, I think they gave it to me out of pity because I was having such a tough weekend. I said, it was not pity. I said, your car is absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
And I feel the same way about Hansberry's truck. That truck is absolutely gorgeous. So,
you know, he came up, you know, Sam the year before, that was like, if I didn't give it to him, I probably would have been booed out of the place. But
exactly.
when I talked to him, you get to know the person and the build and why, and he's always introducing. And the thing is with him, he's introducing everybody else as the person. And that's the kind of, you love that, you know. He's just like, I want to meet this guy who painted, and here's another guy, and it's like, and the guy is in front of me, the one that I you know, everybody's important to building a car. I know that, but you know, Sam's not that guy that he's even worried about that. But I'll never forget going up to him. He's like, what did I do? You know, like, I'm gonna give you best appearing. It was so funny, and he's like, me, that's the best thing that happened all weekend.
Right.
And then when Hansberry comes up, and you know, I walk the pits, you know me, I'm out and about, and I'm I'm, you know, I'm staring at this red Vega wagon sitting over there, and Hansberry comes up, hey, I want to show you something. And he shows me the whole story about the pickup, you know. And you know, there's a lot of nice stuff out there, and you're like,
oh yeah.
You know, it's tough because you want to give it to 10 different ones. And so I'm looking it over, and I'm like, man, this is a beautiful truck. And everybody was like, dude, that you should give it to him. It's a no-brainer. So I said, not Pete. And they were like, next year with him. We'll get him in.
I've actually got it mapped out. If the same cars show up every year for your race, I think I have a lock on it in like the next 15 to 20 years. I'm going to get
it. Perfect. So I won't. You're not going to be disappointed.
No, I'm good.
We talked about it the other night. He's going to put together a list of his favorite excuses, and he's going to send it to my wife, and she's going to make him a T-shirt prize with all his excuses on it. As to why he sucks, why the car sucks, why it didn't win this, why it didn't win that.
Well, it's supposed to be an excuse shirt for losing races. What it's going to turn into is an excuse shirt for not winning best of pairing at the triple tens. So it's kind of evolved a little bit.
That's a step for sure. I think you got the first shirt.
If we made an excuse, a regular old excuse T-shirt, you'd need like 4 of me standing on top of the other one for the T-shirt to fit.
That's right. And we're gonna have the Nova in the truck on the top of the shirt on each side, and we'll just keep adding to it every year.
Right. So close. So close. And what's going to happen is I'm going to have you grudge race them all. And then
there you go. That'll work. Well, that wouldn't have worked out for me this year either.
Right. Sam said my car.
We'll do that next year.
Sam was having trouble Sunday as well, but like I don't mind. He goes, I gotta at least be at one of these races. And that's, again, I say it all the time, the drivers, but they're the ones that are like, I gotta at least show up. And we appreciate that. It's like trying to pick a best dragster. I walked around all over the place, and finally, I think I was talking to, is it Wendy? It's Brian's wife, Wendy, I believe.
Brian's wife is Wendy,
And she's like, that Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde car. I said, man, I looked at that a few times. So there's cars that catch your eye for certain reasons, you know?
Right.
So I gave it to him, and I went over, and he just went out the round before. His car was all strapped down.
Yeah.
And it's in the trailer. And I said, well, we can just take a picture in the trailer. And his wife goes, no, you're taking it out of the trailer, and we're going over to the winter circle. And I'm like, no, you don't have to do that. I said, listen, it's just that. And he's like, no, we'll do that. She says we're doing it. We're doing it.
And that's a token of how much people appreciate you acknowledging their hard work.
Yes.
Right. Some people have in the back of their mind that, best apparent, yeah, whatever, best engineered, who cares? When you give someone that award, for them to unstrap their vehicle after a long weekend of racing or getting their ass kicked or whatever, and they're going to go through the effort to unstrap it and get it into the winner's circle to take the picture, that just goes to show you how much that award is appreciated.
Yeah, and I had pictures. Angela made me a picture for each of them following, because I sent her the picture I had, and then she put in some of the best appearing stuff in 10K or 15K. So that was nice of her. So I was able to send those to them. And then Brian's like, send me everything you got. So I sent them all, and same with them. So I like that kind of stuff. I think you're right. A lot of the drivers, they don't come across like they're chasing it.
Right.
But when they get it, it's kind of like, oh, out of all these vehicles, you picked me, you know?
Right.
And
right.
I appreciate that. I appreciate what the time and the effort and the thought and some of these cars. And then when I'm wandering the lanes, they'll be like, hey, Gary, did you see that one over there? And I was like, I'm just wandering the lanes, but sure, I'll take a look at it. It's like, I just wanted to get away from behind the table. But,
Sure.
Little did I know that there's so many people, so many drivers or crew members that are like, there's Gary, start wiping their car down. I was like, I just want to stretch my feet, but I guess it comes, like I said to Vince, he goes, you keep doing this every year, the trophy's got to get bigger. I go, well, of course. I said, but he goes, that's just gotta, but he knows where my mind's at, because that's
right.
What is it next year? I said, well, I guess I'm gonna have to make a banner, and he's like, do what you have to do. That's
right.
the thing I took upon myself. And I'll ask him, Scotty, some other people that were within our group, like, you see anything I should be, paying attention to, because it gets tough when I'm strapped behind a table. But I see cars all day, and I see some that, catch my eye, or I'll say, hey, man, what do you think of that one? And then somebody will say, no, look at that one. And you're like,
right.
Oh, it's like, I love dragsters, but I hate them sometimes, because I'm like, some people will say they're all the same. No, they're definitely not.
No, they're not. But the problem is, looking at all the intricacies of them, it's like, for you to feel like you really want to hand out that award, you want to study them and figure out all the stuff and time that goes into them.
Paint.
And it's impossible to do that on your time schedule.
Yeah, you see some of these schemes, and their paint, not a wrap, and you're like,
some of their paint on their rear wheels is nicer than my whole freaking car. It's incredible what they do with these things.
Yes, absolutely, and hats off to them. Hats off to everybody. Even some of these juniors I see when I go to other races, you're like, wow. And I appreciate people. I guess if it's doing that little bit, to me, I'm grateful. I'm grateful to be able to do that and find out that here it is, the second year I did it, and it's pretty important, I guess. So
I think 3 is my lucky number anyway. So we're good. We're good.
Right.
I actually talked to Wayne. He's going to take the funny car down off the pole and put my car up there for the weekend to spin it around and show everyone. So I think we got it for next year.
All right. Not that he's trying to stand out at all, everybody.
That's right. Yeah, just little subtle hints I'm going to give.
I'll be like this. What do you think of that car? They're like,
yeah, that's right.
Oh God. Here, Gary, here's the check, and it's blank, So,
that's right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'm just warming you up, Pete. I'm warming you up. I got to give Chris one for best scooter. He's got a big program.
There you go. That might be maybe new pit vehicle might be another class that we got there for you.
Every chance I had to talk to Chris, took about 2 minutes later, somebody come up and needed something, and I turned to go to talk to Chris, and he's gone. He's right.
Yeah.
Gary, yeah, that was my 2 minutes of fame with this guy right here. So it's definitely a busy weekend, but I'm very grateful for how it went, the weather, from the Scotty wheels testing to right till we pulled out of there Sunday. It was flawless. It really was.
Yeah, I mean the fact that you couldn't get the Friday for having to kind of share it with someone or do what you had to do, it actually worked out really good.
Yeah.
It's about as good as it could go for you not having sole possession of it.
Yeah. And I was very surprised at how many drivers paid to get in that day. You know, they didn't even wait. They were like, I'll just pay for the day and pay.
And that was not a cheap rental because of the prep that they did for the radial cars.
No, right.
And people still got in. So yeah, it was pretty good.
It was packed. It was a packed day. And I'll tell you, I had my eye on that Firebird, that Trans Am that was part of that blue one.
That was a nice car.
Ooh, it's for sale.
Yeah. I knew. I saw you drooling over that a little bit.
That's it right there. I was like, God. And he goes, well, he gave me a price. And I was like, I'm going to go collect money. I do this to myself every time, because that was a beautiful car, beautiful piece, nice guy. And, I'm partial to the doors, I'm partial to those door cars and that was a beautiful piece. I loved the color. I loved everything about it. I loved I felt bad just looking at it because he come out, hey, it's for sale. I go, oh boy, here we go. Here goes because usually he's like, I'm at the end of my rope, and I'm like, oh, please stop talking, stop. If I come home,
the race just turned into the twin 2500s because we got a car to buy.
I come home, babe. I got a couple new T-shirts and Trans Am. A nice new Pontiac to go with my other one, so that car will probably be there again next year, but it was beautiful. All the cars are great. I love what I do. Love being a part of it. I love being a part of it. But we will be going. We'll be going at it again next year. Like I said, trying to figure out. I guess everybody saw the survey, and I can tell you it's probably going to be a big one next year. If it's 250, there's a good chance Vince is probably killing himself to make sure that we do that, but we don't want to overdo it. So if it's 3 10s or 2 10s, it's putting it together correctly and making sure we can get the track in what month, what date. So it's exciting. Exciting to think I'm going to give out 250,000. I wonder if that'll fit in one envelope.
That's I mean, $10,000 or $15,000. That's, I don't want to say it's not life-changing. It's a pretty good chunk of money, and it could definitely support someone's whole racing season. No problem at all. But $250,000, that is life-changing money. I don't care who you are, how expensive your rig is that you just pulled in with. That's life-changing money.
And we all know there's no secret to the semifinals. Quarterfinals on the semis, they're starting to come off the top with this money. There's no secret to this industry. It's just there's always one guy that says I'm going after the whole pie. He usually goes out in the quarters of the semis.
Yeah, exactly.
That's okay. Yeah. Because what you're offering is somebody to take home more losing money. Right. So that means round money goes up and everything else. So but still at 250, we don't touch that. When people start working money deals, we give you your money and you guys take care of it.
Yeah, I'm giving one person 250. Whatever you do with that, it's up to you.
So we all know how it works. And still, if you say you took home 200K, I mean, come on, that is life changing.
I mean, Gary, let's be honest. 75K, 100K.
Yes,
that's paying for someone's racing operation for probably the rest of their racing career.
Well, right. They're buying fling tickets now. I'm going to.
Exactly. Yeah.
We're going to the fling.
You told me you give me $100,000 and it's going to pay for your racing for the rest of your life. I'll make that work.
Yeah.
I'll definitely make it work.
And I'll promote the flings and these guys because they do an amazing job. And if somebody said to me, well, Looks like I think we had it happen at the when we did it at Esta the last year we did it there. The guy won the 10K,
Yep.
and he goes, "Looks like we're going." So that's how this works. It just carries over. They're
Sure.
traveling from race to race. So I think that's the biggest thing with Vince putting it together is putting it together so it works for everyone, because that's a different circuit. That's like a racing circuit,
Right.
So
Right.
you put 250,000 out there in December and say this is what we're doing. That's
Right.
going in the calendars of many drivers we've never met.
Yep.
So that's the definite. So we'll see.
What do you got, Chris?
Has there been any thought about trying to get tire trucks come to the event?
Get what?
Hoosier
Yes,
or Mickey Thompson?
I talked to Vince, and it's always scheduling. It's always about scheduling.
Okay,
So
fair enough.
that's I like to have vendors, and I guess it's just a matter of timing and scheduling. He always likes, we talk about Mickey Thompson. He's like, well, it's tough because I got to bring a trailer and it's got to be worthy. There's so much that goes into it. I'm sure you guys know a lot about it. So I always talk about it. I always talk about something, like, well, why don't we have it? He's like, it's scheduling. It's all about scheduling, and
Right.
you have to schedule it now, period. And that's hopes that they don't have a bigger event. They're always going to pick the bigger event over us anyway.
Sure. Best shot at making a profit, right?
Right. Absolutely. I mean, that's the bottom line.
Yeah.
So that has been talked about. Not a lot, but just when Vince says, because he's in with Mickey Thompson. That's where he gets all his tires and distributor. So he works with them a lot. And so I always put that bug in his ear. I'd like to do that. So it's kind of a 50-50. Yeah, I'll talk to him, and then it gets biased. It's kind of one of those things. Like me, I like my banner in front of the tables. You saw I had the 2 JEG banners.
Right.
I like my quirky little things that kind of represent, it's a fundamental thing where it's like, it just looks nice. Looks, presentable. So we'll see. We're working on that. Even with Mark Pettit and Dewzen Products, he brings some stuff to sell, and now that he's got the car, and it's just, you pick and choose your battles, I guess, at some point. So
no doubt.
Yeah, because what made me think of it was, I don't know, a couple weeks, maybe a month before the actual event happened. I know a couple people on my page had asked if I knew if they were going to be. I think it was specifically Hoosier was going to be there. I'm like, I don't know. I said that's something you got to talk to them about.
Right. If anything, it's Mickey Thompson. So
the other issue that you had too was, even if you had them scheduled for the regular race, it doesn't mean that they could have made it to the postponed race either. So it's
the plan B, as we call it.
Exactly. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. Well, it was a good time. Everything went well. Good car count. And everybody was happy.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll go bigger next year. Bigger is better.
We're ready, buddy. Whenever you're ready to make some announcements, you know what to do.
Oh, it'll be soon. Soon as we know what the schedules are, it'll loud and proud.
Awesome. Good stuff. Well, Gary, hats off to you. You did a hell of a job, as usual.
You.
And we look forward to whatever bag of tricks you put together for next year.
Oh, we'll be ready. we'll have something for everybody. I appreciate everybody. I appreciate every one of the drivers, the sponsors. They're all back on board. I appreciate both of you guys and all the people that either tune in or pay attention to the site. I'm very, very grateful. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Good stuff.
You're very welcome, Gary.
All right. Enjoy your off season. That probably isn't really an off season.
Sure. All right, guys. I thank you very much.
Thanks, my friend.
All right, Gary. Have a great night.
All right. Take care.
Take care.
All right. Gary Simons, our guest for tonight, wrapping up the 2024 version of the Trip 10's / double 15s. And
Twin 15s
So maybe someday, maybe you'll get your wish, Pete, because you did talk about, hey, what about a 5-day bracket bash sometime down the road?
You never know.
Never know. Well, that was awesome. Cool. So, kind of switching gears a little bit. Obviously, the last divisional for Division One, the Lucas Oil Drag Racing Series, has been rescheduled to 26th through the 28th, I think it is, of October. Um, to be held at Maple Grove. So
Yep.
pretty much the Dutch is squashed.
Right.
It's going to be a divisional, but they are going to have record runs, and slowly but surely, updates are coming. So I've been posting those from the division as they come.
And is
Horsepower
there
won't.
is there a race that they have to finish up from Epping? I think.
Yes, I saw something about maybe one or two classes
Yeah, something
had to be
like
wrapped
that.
up. I almost want to say it was Comp was one of them.
Yeah, I don't remember which class. I know some classes were finished at other tracks, but I know there was definitely stuff that was supposed to be finished in Virginia that now is rolling over to Maple Grove.
Yeah, let me look real quick, see if I can find a run schedule. So I know I shared one. It's just a matter of what day it was that I shared it.
You got to
But yeah,
get some
so
Jeopardy theme music playing or something.
dun, 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 dun. Let's see.
How would you like to be like this guy right here? Could you see him?
Upside down.
He won't show up, huh? That's because you're a
No,
chocolate. I'm trying to get my dog on there, but he won't show up.
no, too far away.
Laying right next to me on the couch, like he's the king.
He runs the show.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh,
All right. Well, I'm
yeah,
tired.
anyway, anywho.
Yeah.
No, that's not it. Whatever.
Yeah, close
It's
enough.
on my page, so it's on our page somewhere. Um, yeah, so that's gonna be like the end of October.
Yep.
With the guessing game, we're gonna wrap it up at Virginia. That's not gonna happen. We're gonna wrap it up in Maple Grove. I decided to delete all the past guesses for Virginia, and we'll restart it that week. Actually, probably the week and a half prior to Maple Grove.
Rinse and
Have
repeat.
Yep, have a ton of stuff for the winner. The division has stepped up. It's going to give us a few things. Mid Atlantic .90 has, FVP has, Napa, and obviously our partner in that show, Mass Traction, um, is also going to give away their normal stuff plus a sweatshirt.
How
So,
awesome was it that Mass Traction kind of came out of nowhere and got on board with us and turned into be all about this game and supporting it? Pretty awesome,
oh,
right?
absolutely. I mean, it was just kind of like one of those. I just said, hey, look, we're looking for somebody to get in on this. Are you guys interested? What would it take to get involved? And I explained it to him. He's like, hell yeah. And then Brandon and I talked a month or so ago, month and a half ago, whatever it was.
Yeah,
And he, without any prompting, he's like, yeah, we'll be back next year. It's like, that was a blast.
that's awesome. Good.
Yep. So,
I
yeah,
wear
I
my
mean,
Mass Traction T-shirt at least once a weekend whenever I'm going racing.
yeah, there you go.
As a matter of fact, I think my runner-up picture on Saturday I had it on, if I'm not mistaken.
I'll take that picture and I'll try to.
Yeah, yeah. Send it to him. Say, hey, you made the runner-up circle.
Yeah, the weekly blog at Lebanon Valley Dragway.
Yep.
So, because yeah, they use that winner's circle picture with you guys in it.
Yeah. I
So,
cannot believe all the passes that I made this weekend. I made 9 passes. Not one picture of me on the track anywhere. I've been dying to see a picture with the front end up in the air because it's been like 20 years. Not one. Maybe my
Oh, if I
car's a
didn't
lot
have to
more
go to-
uglier and boring than I think it is.
Well, if I didn't have to go to Boston on Friday, I would have been there.
Yeah, that
And I
happens.
would have gone. So, and I do have to pat not only myself, but my wife on the back a little bit because that video that we put together, that her and I put together,
Yep.
was the first one that I've done. And I have to say, I think it came out pretty damn good.
It
from
did. It was great.
From the Saturday of the Dewzen race. So I think I'm gonna work on doing some more of those next year.
Very cool.
Yep.
Good stuff.
So
And we got
yeah.
to we got to give a shout out to Scotty and Ralph with their race coming up. No time, no rules, or is it no rules, no time, whatever. That's coming up this weekend. I'm going to be up there doing the chip draw and helping out with some not tech inspection, but rule inspection for the classes. And it's going to be a great weekend. Weather's shaping up to be pretty good again, knock on wood. And yeah, if you're around, they are labeling this race the fastest heads up, no time rules, no time race in the Northeast.
Now there's also going to be some special grudge races going on too. I saw.
There is going to be some special grudge races, and I will tell you that knowing a lot of these people personally, this is not just to hype up the event. They really do race. They really do put up the money that they claim they put up. They really do have stipulations, be it, the back tire, the leave, the clear on the other end, blah, blah, blah. And it's pretty cool to watch. I mean, they bet a hell of a lot more money than I ever would. I'll tell you that.
Don's cool looking little Ford Fairmont there.
That's Donnie Curtis.
Yep.
It's got a couple of nicknames. Everything from Goldilocks to Gold Member and everything in between. But the car, I got to tell you, to me, I know to him it didn't feel like it, but to me, watching the progress on Facebook, it felt like he built the car in a month and a half, which I'm sure that wasn't the case. But I mean, he instantly got out there, and to me, it was like the car was flying from the jump. He didn't have growing. Christ, I have more growing pains with my friggin' car, and I've had it for 150 years. So yeah, very impressive with what he's done to that car, and I got to tell you, it's fast. It's fast. And he's not afraid to race it, and he's not afraid to put some money up either. So it's pretty cool seeing stuff like that, and kind of being a part of behind the scenes and getting the cars organized and the lane organized. So we could get him down to Jeannie, and she could get him in the burnout box and down the track. But it's a pretty cool event to be part of.
Now, is that a turbo car or a pro charge car?
I'm 99% sure it's a turbo car.
Okay, so I thought the flyers said it was like an all turbo thing.
Yep.
So
yeah,
well, cool.
Fast car. He's got it working good. How those cars do what they do with that size tire and no wheelie bar and all the other stuff, and they, my car's a tube chassis with a big block and a wheelie bar and humongous tires, and if I ever lined up alongside one of them, it would literally look like my car is in reverse. That's how much faster they are than me. It's incredible with what they do. It's pretty impressive.
And that's what, a 275 tire, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
275 or a 28 slick, I think is the max. 28
what
10,
they can run.
Yeah, 2810 or 2810.5, but it can't be a W. I might be slaughtering the rules. I don't really have a clue, but it's a much smaller tire than I run, and they go much faster with much less. That I do know. So
right.
that's it.
That
I'm
is
starting
it.
to lose my voice. I'm tired and I'm ready for bed.
Time to go tonight.
And I'm looking up at my TV and I'm seeing the debate countdown is 51 minutes away, and I know I am not going to make it. Nor do I really give a shit.
Well, all right, my friend. Well, listen, Gary Simons, thank you very much for coming on and hanging out. Like I said, wrapping up the 2024 version of the Dewzen Triple 10's.
Yep.
And look forward to what's going to come down the road. And I think it's going to be big. And I think everybody's going to love it.
Yeah.
Congratulations to you for your runner-up on Saturday.
Thank you.
I'm sure it felt like a win. It probably really did.
It I wasn't I wasn't disappointed that I lost. I mean, like I said, it was half luck that I even made it there because I had a couple of gifts along the way, but just happy that the car is remotely doing what it's supposed to do again. So I got something to work with now. So that's definitely the silver lining. That's for sure.
Well, and nothing against the Nichols family, obviously, because they're a great bunch of racers, but having beat Grant, that had to feel like, okay, we may finally got something going here.
I've raced Grant the last couple of times, and I always get, whenever you race certain people, you get amped up more than usual. And that's probably wrong because you should probably treat every race the same. And if I was putting money on it, I would put money on it that Grant always races everyone the same because that's how he is. But the last couple of times I raced Grant, I've always had mechanical issues. And I remember one time I raced him and the car backed up on the starting line or something was tripping the beams or something. And losing to Grant isn't the issue, is when you race someone of that caliber and you don't feel like you brought your A game, that eats me alive. I never ever go into a race expecting to beat any of the Nichols, but I want to be there in the race. And at that particular race, I was there in the race, and the coin flip landed on my side instead of his. But it's always a pleasure racing anyone in that family, and you're never going to get an easy win. I promise you that. It's not going to happen.
Awesome. Well, like I said, congratulations. And I guess with that, we will wrap it up for the evening. I think next week we're going to take off and how to go from there.
Sounds like a plan.
We're starting to get down to the wire.
Get someone popular on, will you? Besides you. Besides me.
All right, fine.
Work on it.
I will tour. All right. Where's Steve Rhodes? I have his phone number.
Someone that likes us both would be nice.
Oh, that's a toughie.
Yeah, right.
All right, Pete.
Have a good night, my
night.
friend.
All right, we'll talk to you soon.
All right.
Good night, everybody. If you're heading out at the race next weekend, be safe, be careful, have a good time. We'll talk to you all soon. See you.